I decided to tattoo one of my latest drawings on fake skin because it's quite different to the flash designs I usually create, and I thought people might be unsure of what it would look like on skin. And even though fake skin is very different comparing to real, the shading and final effects give more of an idea than a digital drawing. It's been around 6 years since I finished my apprenticeship and haven't practiced tattooing this way since then, so I thought it would be interesting to see if I still find it difficult and also treat it as an experiment with different shading techniques than I usually work with. I ordered 2 different types of fake skin from Killer Ink website and went for the thicker and softer one this time. To prepare the skin, I used the same products I use daily, so I cleaned it well with rubbing alcohol before applying the stencil, printed the stencil as I always do with my Epson printer, so the lines were quite light and thin. To apply the stencil onto fake skin, I used the Proton Stencil Primer, which I fell in love with a few months ago when I worked in Barcelona. Its thickness works very well for me with the thin, sharp lines I like to achieve, and unfortunately it didn't work that way on fake skin. The first attempt wasn't too bad, the lines were sharp but very light. So I've printed it out again with slightly darker and thicker lines, and this time it came out darker but smudged a bit, especially on the face. So next time I think I will be trying Dettol, which I used years ago on fake skin and remember it was great for it. I left the stencil to dry over the night and next day decided to go for the lighter version. To make sure I don't lose the stencil completely halfway through tattooing, I decided to ghost line it first, and to do so I used the lightest version of grey wash I had with extra few drops of mixing solution and a Stellar 0.2 free liner. The inspiration for this drawing came from one of you. A few days ago, I asked on my Instagram stories for your favorite quotes and song lyrics because music and poetry always have been a good starting point for my illustrations. As soon as I find a piece of art or literature I can relate to or one that evokes some emotions, I feel the need to share it with others, often through my own art. In this case, the quote goes, "Dance like nobody's watching." It's quite short and well known, and only now when I'm talking about it, I realized that maybe the person who wrote it was talking about lyrics to the song. I think there is a song with that title, but anyway, the short quote resonated with me immediately as a metaphor because recently I've been thinking more about how I want to live and try to drown out what others have to say about it. The trends I can see in social media and all the advice about how we are supposed to live, but also all the beliefs that have been installed in me. And sometimes it's difficult to drown it all out, and we find it hard to admit to ourselves what we really want. You know, like when you dance in your bedroom when no one sees you, but you catch a glimpse of your awkward moves in the mirror and feel embarrassed. At least I often do. And yeah, that's where the idea of sleeping mask came from, and the rest just followed. After 6 years of tattooing, this fake skin practice was a real pleasure, much easier than I remember it being. So to outline everything, I only needed a few minutes, so there was no issue with the stencil at all. Stippling, which is usually my favorite shading technique, was much more difficult than on human skin. It was hard to get that even texture, but still doable. And shading with Magnum needle gave more of a grainy effect than I usually get. But I really like that outcome. This is what I usually try to achieve with stippling. I will be working on more flash designs inspired by your favorite quotes and songs soon. So if you have any that you would like to share with me, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions or tips regarding fake skin tattoos, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.